Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I've been gone for a little while, but life has just been super busy. I don't feel like I've had a minute to stop and take a breath, and I have unfortunately tested positive for COVID. Sorry if you don't really want to hear about it. I know it's kind of like everywhere at the minute. Luckily, I've not got any symptoms. I just tested positive after having a close contact. So I was having to lateral flow every morning after having this close contact, and then I tested positive. So I've got no symptoms other than feeling a bit fatigued and a bit sort of run down, but I was feeling that on the run up to testing positive anyway. I had an infection which I had to take antibiotics for the week before. So I kind of feel like maybe that was just that feeling is just a run on from having antibiotics and whatnot. So I thought what I'd do is I'd come back on and I'd have a little bit of an update and I'd do a last, current and next read video. Talk about the books that I've last read, what I'm currently reading and what I plan to read next, because I did want to film a February TBR, but it's the 19th of February today. So I don't think that is really appropriate when there's not much of the month left, less than 10 days left of the month. So I thought I'd kind of catch you up with this, and then I plan on doing a February wrap up and then also doing a March TBR and trying to get back into the swing of things. Because I can't leave the house, it's given me kind of so much time back to kind of sort out some of these things that I've kind of let fall to the wayside. My washing bin, my laundry bin was so full. I've done a load of laundry every single day and I feel so accomplished. But just lots of little niggly things, and one of those is coming back to YouTube, getting lots of videos pre-filmed so that I can just get them scheduled and uploaded, and then when I do have a spare time I can film. I'm sorry that the lighting's a little bit off today, however the sun is so low and so bright coming through my window, which is I'm not complaining about, that I've had to actually draw the curtains. I'm sorry if this side is kind of in the shade and this side's kind of in the light, but I didn't want to draw the curtains completely, but I wanted to just shield me from the glaring sun a little bit. So apologies for that. We're just going to have to roll with it. If I was filming this a little bit later on, the sun will move its way around the house. So the sun rises out this window and then obviously sets in through the front of our house. So I could have filmed it a little bit later on, but I just wanted to get on with it and do it. So what book did I last read? What was my last book I finished? That was The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman. Osman, never know how to say his name. I listened to this mostly on audiobook. I don't think I actually followed along with a lot of it, to be fair, but I did do a section. I love these books. I love the Thursday Motor Club. I love this one just as much. I love the characters, and I know this sounds really silly, but the characters are just really three-dimensional. They're real characters, they're realistic. I could imagine going and sitting in this retirement village where these people live, and I can imagine sitting with them all. I've got images in my head of what they all look like, and I have a great Auntie Joyce, and there's a character in here called Joyce who reminds me very much of my great Auntie Joyce, and I just love it. Unfortunately, I don't have many grandparents left, and my nan that I do have left, bless her, she is battling through dementia, and unfortunately with all the COVID restrictions I can't actually go and visit her, and I haven't been able to visit her much in the last, well, probably I've visited her once in the last 2 years just because of the restrictions. So it kind of makes me feel, it gives me a link to kind of maybe something that I feel like I'm missing out on, having a relationship with grandparents. And that sounds really strange, but also what I love about this book is that it's set in the area that I live in. It's set very close to where I live. There's lots of talks about places that I know and that I live near, and I love that as well. And Richard actually comes from this sort of area. He comes from Sussex. So and when I said to my dad, oh yeah, I'm reading this book by Richard Osman, and my dad was like, I know his mum. I was like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, he does. He lives really locally. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I love these. They're like warm hugs, and they're really comforting. Even though they're kind of about murder and bad things, they're still really comforting. And I love the characters. Who thought I'd love a book filled with characters that all live in a retirement village? I cannot wait for book 3. And I loved the audiobook. and I just cannot praise these books enough. I really can't. Highly recommend. Funny, light-hearted, and I love the humour in these. Oh, it's just... Recommend to anyone that hasn't read these, please go and read them. And I'm really interested to see what else Richard Osman comes out with in the future, whether it's not related to this and does something different. I'd be really intrigued to read anything else that he writes, because there's just something about these that I just love. No spoilers, but super intriguing, keep you on the edge of your seat, and you just feel, I feel fully immersed in the story. So loved that. On to my current reads. I picked up, once I'd done with Richard Osman's The Man Who Died Twice, I picked up The Magpie Society, One for Sorrow by Zoe Sugg and Amy McCullough. I picked this up because the theme for February in the Daisy and Bee book club, if you don't know, I run a book club on Facebook with my best friend Daisy. Our theme for February was murder mystery, So I read The Man Who Died Twice, and I also wanted to try and get another book in for the theme, and The Magpie Society is basically all about a student at this school that gets washed up dead on the shore, and then the story starts the next, like, after the summer, because that happens at the end of term, and then in September they come back to school, and it's kind of like all about what actually happened, what went on. I literally have read 30 pages of this. I'm really intrigued. I'm really intrigued to read more. However, this needs like a fanfare, like a House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas came out, which is the second book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J Maas. And basically had to put everything else on the back burner and had to read this. My manager even said to me, because I've been talking about this book, I had 2 attempts to go and pick up my Waterstones exclusive edition in town on my lunch breaks, because the first time I went on release day it wasn't in, and I was so annoyed, and I had to go back the next day on my lunch. My manager even said to me when I called him, I said, I'm really sorry, I've just tested positive for COVID. He went, you can sit down and read your book now. He was like, sit down, read your book, enjoy it. I know you've been waiting for it for ages. How, like, what a top guy. But I basically was like, nah, got to put this down and got to pick this up. I'm currently on around, because I have been listening to it, some of it on audio this morning, and haven't moved my place. I'm around the 333 page mark. So I am well past halfway. It's 801 pages. So I've only got... I've only got 300 pages to read today. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, less than 300 pages. God, maths is hard. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm loving being back in the Crescent City world. I do feel like there's a lot, no spoilers, but I feel like there's a lot going on in this book, and I feel like it's definitely setting ourselves up like for spiderwebbing out with other characters, other storylines. I feel like there's a lot going on, and it's really setting up future books. But oh my gosh, if you have got this and you have read it, please message me. Page 311, 312. Love. So, when I'm done with this, my plan is to maybe try and get some of this read, but I also would like to pick up and read Meet Me in Hawaii by George Toffolo. At the beginning of February, excuse me, can't get my words out. At the beginning of February, I read Meet Me in London by George Toffolo. My buddy read it with Daisy because we wanted to get through some of our books, some of our TBR together. And we were like, let's try and do it together, hold each other accountable. And I was like, come on, let's read Meet Me in London. Something a little bit different, something that I've been reading a lot of, sort of fantasy, murder mystery. Let's read something that's a little bit more contemporary. So, Meet Me in Hawaii. We read the Meet Me in London and we both enjoyed it. And I was like, let's read the next one. So we're going to read this hopefully in the last week of February, kind of overflowing maybe into the first week of March. I'm super excited to read this one. This series looks like it's following however many girls, I can't remember how many girls there are in a kind of friendship group. The first one, I haven't got it to hand, follows, what's her name? Oh my gosh, I can't remember what her name is. That is really bad. Can't remember what her name is. The first one follows a character in London and like her story, and this one obviously follows a character in Hawaii. Really excited to pick this one up. I cannot think why I can't remember her name. That's going to really bug me as well. That's going to really bug me. Anyway, so yes, the next books I plan to be reading are between these two, and I am so excited and so buzzing with my reading at the moment. Like, I'm so motivated. I really think reading Crescent City and then reading the second Crescent City is really just like reignited my love for reading, and I'm so excited to get on reading more. So I'm gonna crack on now and do some more reading. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like these as preferred to maybe like reading vlogs, because at the minute I'm not leaving the house because I've got COVID, so if you'd prefer these sort of like more sit down videos talking about my last, current and future reads, then please let me know. If you don't and you prefer vlogs, let me know that as well. But I hope you enjoyed. What are you currently reading at the moment, or have you just finished a book that you absolutely loved? I'd love to hear about it. Please let me know down below in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!